Hello guys, in this video we are going to be working on grade 9 paper 2 question paper. So this is grade 9 mathematics. Mathematics paper 2 question paper. So this is grade 9 mathematics paper 2 question paper. So guys, without wasting any time, we are going to start with section A. And remember guys that this is part 1. This is part 1, and if you want me to continue with part 2, please just subscribe to the channel and also state the province that you are watching from. So you can say subscribed and then say Gauteng, or you can say subscribed and then say maybe Free State if you're in Free State, and so on and so on. So now let's go ahead and start working on our first question. So here we can see that we have question 1, and we are told to answer the following questions by choosing the correct answer. And then we need to circle the letter next to the correct answer. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and start with our first question, which is question 1.1. Let's go ahead and start with question 1.1. So question 1.1 says that angles B, angles beta and theta are created by two intersecting lines. So they are created by two intersecting lines. And then now we are asked, what are these angles called? What are these angles called? So we can easily see that these are vertically opposite angles. These are vertical opposite angles. So this means that if we have x here, it means that even this side is equals to x. And if we have y here, it means that even this side is equals to y. So these two angles are equal. They are equal, and they are called vertically opposite angles. So our correct answer will be C. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 1.2. So question 1.2 says that BCD is a straight line. Now we are told to study the diagram below and decide which of the statements given below is true. So we need to check which of the statement given below is true. So if we check here, if we check, we can see that we have a triangle, and then we also have our straight line. So we can see that this angle, which is angle C2, is an exterior angle, right? So it is an exterior angle. So we can see that basically means that angle A and angle B, when added together, they are equals to our C2, which is an exterior angle. So these are called exterior. So it's exterior angles of a triangle basically means that angle A1 and angle A and angle B are, when added together, they should give us angle C2. So the reason for this is exterior angles of a triangle. Exterior angles of a triangle. So opposite angles in our triangle, when added together, they should give us C2. So when we add angle A and angle B, we should get angle C2. And the reason for that is exterior angles of a triangle. And then next, we will move to question 1.3. So question 1.3 says that describe the transformation x and y into negative x and y. So this is a reflection about the y-axis. This is the reflection about the y-axis. So it is the reflection about the y-axis. Okay. So next, we will move to our next question, which is question 1.4. So question 1.4 says that identify the correct formula for the area of the shape. So we can see that here we are given a we can see that here we are given a cylinder. And you know that area of a circle area of a circle is equals to pi r squared, and our r is our radius. Our r is our radius. So the radius is the point from the center of the circle to the edge. So this is called our radius. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 1.5. So question 1.5 says that a bucket contains 3.5 liters of water. Now determine the volume of the water in centimeter cube. So guys, this question is very easy. What we need to do is to convert. We need to understand how we convert from liters to centimeters. We need to understand how we convert from liters to centimeters. And we know that if we are converting from liters to centimeters, it's very easy. We multiply by 1,000. So now let's go ahead and convert this. So if we say 3,5 liters multiplied by 1,000, our answer needs to be in centimeter cube because it's a volume, right? So 3,5 multiplied by 1,000, this will give us 3,500 centimeter cube. 3,500 centimeter cube. And if we check our options, do we have 3,500? Do we have 3,500? And yes, we do have 3,500. So this basically means that our answer will be D. This basically means that our answer will be D. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 2, which falls under section B. And guys, don't forget that this is only part 1. This is part 1. And if you want me to also record part 2, just subscribe to the channel and also state your province. And then I will come to your comment and paste the link of part 2. So say subscribed, and then you can say subscribed and say Limpopo if you are watching from Limpopo, or you can say subscribed and say Gauteng if you are watching from Gauteng, and so on and so on. Okay, and then next we will move to question 2.1. Next we will move to question 2.1, and question 2.1 says that straight lines AB and CM intersect at M such that M1 is equals to M2. So we are told that M1 is equals to M2. We are told that M1 is equals to M2. So now let's go ahead and work on our first question. So our first question will be question 2.1.1. So question 2.1.1 says that what is the size of M1? So we can see that here we have a perpendicular line. So we can see that line AB is perpendicular to line CM. And if we have perpendicular line, it means that this side is equals to 90 degrees and this side is also equals to 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees, 90 degrees. That's why we are told that they are equal. So this basically means that angle M1 will be equals to 90 degrees. It will be equals to 90 degrees. Okay, and then next we will move to question 2.1.2. Next we will move to question 2.1.2. So question 2.1.2 says that consider the response in question 2.1.1. Consider the response in question 2.1.1 and complete the following statements. So here we are told that line AB is to line CM, just like what I told you guys when I was explaining the 90 degrees. So we can say that line AB is perpendicular So question 2.1.2 will be is perpendicular. It's perpendicular. So once you see this, just know that this represent perpendicular lines, right? This represents perpendicular lines. Okay, and then next we will move to question 2.2. Next we will move to question 2.2. So question 2.2, we are told to study the diagram in question 2.2.1 below and complete the statement or reasons in the table provided. Okay, so let me see if I can increase this a bit, guys, because it seems to be a bit small. Let me see if I can increase this a bit. So yeah, it's a bit bigger now. So this is question 2.2, right? So we have it here now. So now we are told to study the diagram in question 2.2.1. So this is the diagram in question 2.2.1. Okay, guys, let me just quickly erase that. Let me just quickly erase this. Okay, there we go. There we go. So here we are told to study the diagram in question 2.2.1 below and answer the statement or reasons in the table provided. So we can see here that we are told to determine the values of A and B. That's our A and that's our B. And we can see that we have our point here. This is our point, right? So now let's go ahead and check our statement or our table to see what we need to do. Right? So here we can see that we are told that A plus 90 plus 180 plus 198 is equals to, so guys, we can see that we have a point here and we know that angles around the point. So we know that angles around a point add up. So they add up to 360 degrees. So angles around a point add up to 360 degrees. So we can see that this basically means 90 degrees. This represents 90 degrees. That's why we are saying that 198 degrees plus 90. That's why we are seeing 198 degrees plus 90 degrees plus A. So this will be equals to, remember we are told that angles around the point add up to 360 degrees. So this will be 360 degrees. And then our reason will be angles around a point. So this will be our reason. So it's around a angles around a point. Okay. So now that we know that this is equal to 360, it means that we can easily find our A, right? And our A will be equals to 360. So we just take 90 and 180 to the other side. And when we take it to the other side, it will then change its sign. It will then change its sign. So it will be minus 90 minus 198, right? And then angle A will be equals to, then now we just need to plug this on our calculator. So we'll come and say 360 minus 90 minus 198. This will give us 72. So this basically means that angle A is equals to 72 degrees, right? And then now we are told that B is equals to, and then these are complementary. The reason is complementary angles. So we know, guys, that complementary angles are two angles that measure that when we add them up, they give us 90 degrees. So these are angles that that when we add them up, they give us 90 degrees. So we know that this angle here is 90 degrees. So we know this side, which is 34, meaning that we can be able to find our B. So our B will be equals to 90 minus 34. So this basically means that B will be equals to, so 90 minus 34. So B is equals to 56 degrees. B is equals to 56 degrees. So complementary angles are angles that when we add them up, they give us 90 degrees. So what does that mean? That means that angle B plus 34 degrees, it should be equals to 90 degrees. And it should, because of what we have here. Because of what we have. And then now we can easily find B by just saying 90. When we take the 34 to the other side, we'll get minus 34 degrees. Then B will be equals to 56 degrees. B will be equals to 56 degrees. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question. Now we will move to question 2.2.2. Now we will move to question 2.2.2. So if we check question 2.2.2, we can see here that we are told that given x, given QWR, not x, QWR, so the two lines, so whenever we see two lines, just know that we are going to, this represents parallel. So it means that the lines are parallel. It means that the lines are parallel. So we are told that QWR is parallel to SZAT. So these two lines are parallel. And guys, whenever we are dealing with parallel lines, we need to think of the fun concept. We need to think of the fun concept. We need to think of the fun concept. And then if it's an F, we know that here we'll be talking about corresponding angles. If it's a U, we'll be talking about co-interior angles. And if it's a Z or an N, we'll be talking about alternating angles, right? So if it's corresponding, what does that mean? So this basically means that we'll check for this alphabet on what we are given, and we should know that this angle is equals to this angle. And then if it's a U, we know that when we add this angle and this angle, when we add them, we should get 180 degrees. And then for alternating angles, basically means that this angle and this angle are equal. Basically means that those two angles are equal. Okay, so now let's go ahead and work on our what, and continue checking what we are given. So we are told that the two lines are parallel, right? And then we are also told that WX, 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 and WY intersect ST. So it intersect ST and Z. ST at Z, right? And A. So at Z and A, respectively. So now we are told that angle W1 is equals to 65 degrees, and angle A2 is equals to 121 degrees. So now we are told to complete the statements and or reasons in the table below to calculate the sizes of A1, W3, Z2, and Z3. So we need to calculate the sizes of those angles that we are given. Okay? So now let's go ahead and and see what's in the table. Let's go ahead and see what's in the table. So here we can see that firstly we are told, or rather we are told that angle A1 and angle A2, so angle A1 and angle A2 are equals to. So guys, if we check angle A1 and angle A2, we can see that angles are these are angles on a straight line, and we know that angles on a straight line adds up to 180 degrees, and the reason for that will be angles on angles on a straight angles on a straight line, right? So let's remove this so that we have enough space to so that we have enough space. Okay, so now we are done with the first one. So now we can see here that we are told that angle A2 is equals to 121. So what will be angle A1? So remember, we are told that angle A1 plus angle A2 are angles on a straight line, which means that they add up to 180 degrees. So now angle A1 plus angle A2, which is 121, equals to 180 degrees. So this basically means that angle A1 will be equals to 180 minus, so the 121, when we take it to the other side, it will change its sign, so it will be minus 121. Therefore, angle A1 will be equals to 180 minus 121. So now we can just plug that on our calculator. So it's 180 minus 121, and the answer will be 59. So angle A1 is equals to 59 degrees. So this is 59 degrees. This is 59 degrees. Okay. Don't forget, guys, that this is part one. And if you're understanding the video, and if you want part two, just subscribe to the channel. And then once you're done, you can just say subscribed on the comment section. Say subscribed, and then also name your province, the province that you are watching from. So you can say subscribed Western Cape if you are watching from Western Cape, and then I will come and paste the link to part two on the comment section. Okay, so now let's move to angle W3, right? Let's move to angle W3. Let's move to angle W3. So angle W3, this is angle W3, right? We are told that angle W3 is equals to, let's see. So if we check here, we can see that we have our Z, right? We can see that we have our N, or our Z, right? So there we go. This is our Z, which means that this angle and this angle are equal. And we know that angle A1 is equals to 59 degrees, right? That's what we calculated here. So that basically means that angle W3 is equals to 59 degrees. Is equals to 59 degrees. Even our reason here, they told us that these are alternating angles. These are alternating angles. Okay. And then now we are done with W3. So we can just create space so that we can be able to identify other angles as well. So for us to identify other angles, it means that what we are given should be clear. What we are given should be clear. So now let's move to our next one, which says that angle W1 plus angle Z2 are equals to, and you also need to give a reason for that. You also need to give a reason for that. So we are told that angle W1 and Z2 are equals to, guys, if we check here, we can see that we have our U. We have our U. And then if we come back here to our U, we see that these are co-interior angles. And when we add them, we should get 180. We should get 180. So this means that this is equals to 180 degrees. This is equals to 180 degrees, right? And the reason for that is the reason for that is co-interior. The reason for that is co-interior angles. Co-interior angles. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question. So here we are told that angle W1 is equals to 65. So maybe let's erase again so that we can have a clear picture of what we are talking about. So that we can have a clear picture of what we are talking about. So we are told that angle W1 is equals to 65. That's true. So now we are asked what angle Z2 is equals to. So this is easy, guys. We know that when we add both angles, we should get 180 degrees. And then here we are told that W1 is equals to 65 degrees. So it will be 65. So from what we have here, we just come and replace W1 by 65 and then plus Z2 equals to 180 degrees. So this basically means that angle Z2 will be equals to 180 minus. So now we take the 65 to the other side. And when we take it to the other side, it will change its sign. So it will be minus 65 degrees. So this basically means that Z2 will be equals to 180 minus 65, which will give us 115 degrees. So angle Z2 will be equals to 115 degrees, right? So we have this angle here, which is equals to 115 degrees, which is equals to 115 degrees. And then now we are asked, what is angle Z3? What is angle Z3? What is angle Z3? What is angle Z3? So angle Z3, we can use different methods, right? So we can see that we have an F here. We can see that we have an F. And if it's an F, we know that this angle and this angle are equal. And the reason for that is corresponding angles. Or if we don't want to use that method, we can easily come and say, we can easily come and say, let me show you. We can easily come and say that we have a straight line and angles on a straight line should add up to 180. So we can just come and say 180 minus 115 and it will give us 65 degrees. And the reason for that can be angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line. So angle Z3 will be equals to 65. So we can say corresponding angles or angles on a straight line on our reason. So we can say corresponding angles, or we can say angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Okay. And then next we will move to our next question, which is question 2.3. Next we will move to question 2.3. So here in question 2.3, we are told to complete the following statements. So we are told that if GU is parallel to LE, if GU, if, or this is completely different. If GU is parallel, so remember the two lines mean parallel. So if GU is parallel to LE and QR is parallel to LE, that basically means that GU and QR are also parallel. So they are also parallel, right? And then here we are told that if ST is perpendicular to UV and JK is also perpendicular to UV, then ST and JK are again, these are also parallel. These are also parallel. Okay, and that brings us to the end of question 2. And we will be moving to our next question, which is question 3. So guys, don't forget that this is part 1. This is part 1. And if you want part 2, if you need me to do part 2, please subscribe to the channel and also comment on the comment section the province that you're watching from. So say subscribed and then also state the province. So you can say subscribed and then say Gauteng. So you can say subscribed Free State, subscribed Western Cape, and so on and so on. Okay, so now let's move to question 3. Now let's move to question 3. Let's move to question 3. So here we are told to complete. So we'll start with question 3.1, and we are told to complete the statement that is given. We are told to complete the statement that is given. Okay, so we are told that the exterior angle of a triangle is equals to the sum of the interior opposite angles. So that's what we were saying on our first, if you remember what we did here. So we are saying that angle C2, which is an exterior angle, is equals to the sum of the interior opposite angles. So these are the opposite angles. And then by sum, we mean adding. So this means that if we add this angle and this angle, they should be equals to C2, which is an exterior angle, right? So this is this. So this angle right here should be equal to the sum of these angles that are here. So these are opposite interior angles. These are opposite interior angles. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question. We will move to our next question, which is question 3.2. Next we will move to question 3.2. So question 3.2 says that DEFG is a kite. So we are told that diagonals DF and GE intersect at H. So they meet here at H, right? So now we are told to mark all the known properties of a kite. So guys, we should be able to know all the properties of a kite related to sides and diagonals on the diagram below. So use appropriate geometric symbols, right? So here we can easily see that that line GD is equals to line DE. So from here to here is equals to from here to here. That's our first property, right? And then we can also see that on triangle GHD, angle H is equals to 90 degrees. So we are saying that on this triangle GHD, this angle here, which is angle H, is equals to 90 degrees. So we can prove that because we also have perpendicular lines, right? Because we have perpendicular lines, because we can see that GE is perpendicular to DH. So this is our 90 degrees. So this is basically saying that from triangle GHD, but angle H, so this head here means angle. So angle H is equals to 90 degrees. Is equals to 90 degrees. So those are the two properties that we can identify. Okay, and then now let's move to our, so it will be 1 mark, 1 mark. Remember, it's only 2 marks. Okay, so next let's move to question 3.3. Next, let's move to question 3.3. So here we are told that in triangle EFG, so for example, this is the triangle that they're talking about. So we can see triangle EFG, right? So we are told that from triangle EFG, angle E, angle F, angle G are equals to 3, 4, 3. So what does that mean? So we check this respectively. So they started with angle E, right? Then came to angle F, then came to angle G. So what they started with, so they started with E, it means that the value of E will be 11. So this is what we call, these are the ratios of these angles. So these are the ratios of these angles, right? So angle E will take 4. And then secondly, they spoke about angle F. So it means that angle F will be 3, and then angle G will be 4. So these are the ratios. So I will show you that if you are given such ratios, how do you solve? How do you solve moving forward? So now we are told that determine the size of angle F to the nearest degrees. Determine the size of angle F. So guys, if we are saying that we have three angles, right? We have three angles because we have a triangle. And we know that angles on a triangle adds up to 180, right? So angles on a triangle adds up to 180. So if we add angle E, angle F, and angle G, they all add up to 180 degrees. So now the question is saying that determine the size of angle F. So we can see F here, that F is allocated a ratio of 3. F is allocated a ratio of 3. So this basically means that to find angle F, it's very easy. It's very easy. So this means that angle F will be equals to, angle F will be equals to 180 multiplied by its ratio. So its ratio is 3 divided by the total ratio. So the total ratio, we will just add all our ratios. So we'll add 4, we'll add 4 plus 3 plus 4. So if we add those, it's 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4, we will get 11. Divide by the total ratio, which is 11. And then now we'll be able to find our angle F. So angle F is equals to 180 multiplied by the ratio, by its ratio. So it's 180 multiplied by 3 divided by 11. And it will be 49 degrees. So angle F is equals to 49 degrees. Is equals to 49 degrees. So we just take this and plug it inside here. So we can see that angle F is equals to 49 degrees. And then the reason for this, we can see that sum of angles in a triangle, because we know that a sum of a triangle should give us 180 degrees. So when we add this angle and this angle and this angle, we should be able to get 180 degrees. And then we also used the ratios that we were provided with, the ratios that we were given. We also use the ratios that we were given. Okay, and then next we will proceed to our next question. And don't forget, guys, that if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe and let me know the province that you're watching from, so that I can also be able to do part 2. So I will check the number of subscribers. So if you're subscribing, it means that I will see that you guys are enjoying the lesson, and I will record part 2. So just subscribe and tell me the province that you are watching from on the comments section. Okay, so now let's move to our next question. Now let's move to our next question. which is question 3.5. Now let's move to question 3.5. So here we are told that in the following diagram, Z G H T Z Z H T is a quadrilateral. So we are told that it is a quadrilateral. As such, that ZG is parallel to TH. So ZC, ZG, ZG. So ZG is parallel to TH. And ZE, Z, do we have E? And then ZE, oh yeah, we do have E here. And then ZE is equals to GE. So these two sides are equal. And ET is also equals to EH. Is also equals to EH. Is also equals to EH. So ET and EH are equal because of these two sides that are here. So this means equal, right? If the two sides are the same, it means equal. So now we are told to prove that TZ is equals to HG. So TZ, we need to prove that TZ from here to here, it is equals to from here to here, right? So how do we do that? So firstly, we can say that in triangle ZET, we can say that in triangle ZET and triangle G GEH, triangle Z. So from this triangle, we know that angle E is equals to angle E is equals to angle E. So we are saying that from this triangle, which is ZET, from this triangle, right? From this triangle, let me just use another color. Let's use blue. So from this triangle and triangle GEH and this triangle, we can see that this angle and this angle are equal. And what's the reason for that? These are vertical opposite angles. So these are vertical opposite angles. Vertical opposite angles, right? So that's the first step. So we can see that these two angles are equal. These two angles are equal, right? So now let's wrap so that we don't get confused. Or maybe let's leave it so that, so let's try to leave it for now. And then we can say that ZE is equals to GE. So ZE from here to here, it is equals to GE from here to here. It's given because of the, oh no guys, now we need to wrap. We need to wrap so that I can show you properly. So next we can say that, I'm gonna show you just now. We can see that this line that is here, ZE is equals to GE because of this. So this is given, right? So we can say that ZE is equals to GE. And the reason for that, we can say given. It's given, right? And then we can say TE, again, TE is equals to HE. TE is equals to HE. Again, we can say it's given, right? Because of this. Because of this. Therefore, so once we prove that, therefore we can say that, therefore, Z angle triangle ZET is equals to triangle GEH. So we can say that therefore they are similar, and the reason for that will be SAA. So this will be our reason, right? And then if these ones are similar, it means that now we can come and say, therefore TZ is equals to HG, and these are corresponding sides of a similar triangle. Corresponding sides of a similar triangle S. Okay, and that's our answer for question 3.5.1. And then next we will move to 3.5.2. Next we will move to 3.5.2. So here we are told that using the diagram in question 3.5. So we are told that using the diagram in 3.5. So let's create that space. So we are told that using the diagram in triangle, using the diagram in question 3.5, this is the diagram in question 3.5, right? Using the diagram in question 3.5, above, it is further given that triangle ZGE, let's see, okay, so guys, so the three lines, so here, this is not similar, is congruent, right? And then the three lines, this one then means similar. So here we're supposed to say it is congruent. So we can see that therefore ZET is congruent to angle GET. It is congruent to angle GET. Okay, so now let's proceed here. So now we are told that using the diagram in question 3.5 above, it is further given that triangle ZGE is similar to triangle THE, such that ZE is equals to GE and equals to 4 centimeters, and ET is equals to HE, which is equals to 6 centimeters, and ZG is equals to 6 centimeters. So now we are told to use the information given above to complete the statement or the reason in the table below, and hence calculate the length of HT if HT is equals to X. So what we need to come and do here, we just need to come and say, so we can just work it out here. So we can see that ET, with ET is equals to 6. And then ZE, we know that ZE is equals to GE, which is also equals to 4 centimeters. So we'll have 4 here. We'll have 4 here. Okay. Let's see if we can erase. So let's erase. Again, guys, don't forget that this is part 1. So if you want part 2, just subscribe to the channel and tell me the province that you're watching from. And then I will create part 2 for you guys. Okay, so here we can see that ZE is equals to 4, and then HT, we are told that if it is equals to X. So now we'll have 6 over 4 equals to X over 6. So this is easy, guys. We can just cross multiply, right? So we'll come and say 6 multiplied by 6 equals to 4 multiplied by X. So 6 multiplied by 6, that should give us 36. So we'll come and have 36 here. And then 4 multiplied by X, it will be 4X, right? So now we need to find HT, which is our X. And how can we find X? We can just find X by dividing by dividing by 4 throughout. So if we divide by 4 throughout, we will find our X. So if we come here and divide by 4, and here divide by 4, it means that X will be equals to, so this 4 and this 4 will cancel. So 36 divided by 4, this will give us 9. So this basically means that HT is equals to 9 centimeters. And that would be our answer. So guys, this will be, here's where we will end our part 1. Here's where we'll end our part 1. And if you want me to continue with part 2, just let me know on the comment section. But first, subscribe so that I can see how serious you are. Subscribe and also tell me the province that you are watching from. Okay, so say subscribed and then say how thing. And then I will do part 2 for you guys.